Hello everyone, in today's video I will be talking about why the Toyota 2T engine is still very good even to this day. Firstly, let me just talk about the most common version of the 2T engine, that being the 2TC. The 2TC is an overhead valve engine. That being said, it is a single cam engine, but the cam resides in the block, similar to the pushrod V8s found in a number of Fords and Chevrolets from back in the day and even to this day. Next would be that it has 8 valves per cylinder, and the combustion chambers are similar to the Hemi engines from back in the day, and the cylinder head is of a cross-flow design. That being said, it is better compared to the 4K engine's non-cross-flow cylinder head because the intake and exhaust ports are in separate locations compared to alternating intake and exhaust ports in only one side of the cylinder head. One of the benefits of this is that it will essentially reduce the intake air temperatures compared to being heated up by the exhaust manifold. By having less intake temps, this will then suggest that the air entering the combustion chamber being more dense, and this is beneficial in creating more power. The second benefit is that by design, the cross-flow cylinder head would enable for a higher volumetric efficiency, especially at higher engine speeds, although having only 8 valves per cylinder does limit its ultimate potential. Now let's move on with the block. The 2TC engine has a displacement of 1.6 liters or 1,588 cc's and has a bore and stroke of 85 and 77 millimeters respectively. Fun fact, the 2TC shares the same block as the more performance-oriented 2TG engine. That being said, that's not to say that the 2TC is inferior to the 2TG. In fact, the single-cam 2TC engine was further modified back in the day for the then Australian Formula 2 Championships, or as they were known back in the day as AF2. I know you guys may be wondering about how much power did the single cam Formula 2 version produce, and the answer to that is 200 horsepower. And the maximum amount of revs that was permitted early on was 10,000 RPMs, but was soon reduced to 8,500 as per the rules, and it was also mandated to only use carburetors for the fuel injection. Now for the answer of why the Toyota 2T engine is still a very good power plant even to this day is because of its ease of maintenance, Formula 2 history, and fuel economy wise, it can still compete with some modern engines to this day. In addition, most of the modern engines nowadays have a cross-flow cylinder head design, so that's not bad for the old 2T, which was designed in the 70s. Now, one of the main advantages of the more performance-oriented 2TG variant is that it has been changed from an overhead valve specification into a double overhead cam specification, and this in itself allows the valve train to be lighter compared to having push rods, meaning it can rev much higher reliably without the trouble of not being able to control the valves at higher engine speeds. Although there are workarounds to make the overhead valve system to work at higher RPMs more reliably, but the push rods, rocker arms, and valve springs would need to be upgraded into a stronger and stiffer variant. There was also a 2TG variant that had 16 valves, but TRD only made 20 units back in the day for racing, so good luck on finding one. But if you do, even if it's just the cylinder heads, I'd buy it since it has 16 valves, in which, as I have said earlier, having only 8 valves limits the potential of the 2T engine. By that, what I meant was that the amount of airflow entering the engine is not as much as having 16 valves for more volumetric efficiency. And yes, even if you have a normal 2T engine and wanted to turn it into a double overhead cam, you can do this by just swapping over the front cover and valve train gear from the 2TG. And there, now you have a double overhead cam 2T engine. But make sure to rotate the last two cam bearings in the block 90 degrees in order to have consistent oil pressure, since the overhead valves would be replaced by the 2TG's balance shaft, which in shorter. Sorry about that, guys. Because the overhead valve cam would be replaced by the 2TG's balance shaft, which is shorter. This balance shaft is connected to the cam drive sprocket that drives the overhead cams. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and if you liked the video, do leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. In the next video, I will be talking about some of the easy and relatively budget-friendly mods you can do to the 2TC engine. And if you would like to support the channel, please do check out the links down in the description box below.